Cities with many functions. So let us cover this topic today. Iron tools and agriculture. So in the megalithic burials, we have already seen a largest collection of iron tools and weapons. Okay. So some of the largest collection of iron tools and weapons were found in the megalithic burials. Around 2500 years ago, there is evidence for the growing use of iron tools. So we have seen some evidence were there that will show us that the use of iron was there. It includes access for clearing forest, iron plowshare that is used for increasing agriculture production. So here we will see the use of iron plowshare and the axes were used for clearing the forest. It means these iron tools were used for increasing the agriculture production. Other steps to increase production were earlier new tools and system of transplantation increased the production of agriculture. So transplantation was used for the increase of production. However, irrigation was also started to use. And in this period, we will see irrigation work that were built during this period were canals, wells, tanks, and artificial lakes. So in this way, agriculture was seen and the production has been increased with the use of irrigation. Now, who live in the villages? Let us see the people, how the people have been divided. So, in the southern part, in the Tamil region, large and landowners were known as Velaler, and ordinary plowshare men were known as Ujaver, and landless laborer, including slaves, were known as Kadaishir and Adimai. So, this is a division of the people in the southern part. In the northern part, the village headman was known as the Gram Bhojaka, and this post was hereditary. It means from father to son. They were often largest landowners. Generally, Gram Bhojaka had slaves and hired workers to cultivate the land. Apart from Gram Bhojaka, there were other independent farmers known as Grihapatis, most of whom were smaller landowners. So Gram Bhojaka was there and Grihapatis were also there. So Grihapatis were the small landowners. And then there were men and women such as the Dasa Karmakara who did not own land and had to earn a living working on the field owned by others. Besides it, blacksmith, potter and carpenter and weaver were also there. So this is the division of the people in the southern and the northern part. Now let us see about some cities, how cities were finding out about the cities. Historians and archaeologists use various sources to study early cities and villages. Among them, the first one is the Jataka stories. So these stories were probably composed by ordinary people and then written down and preserved by Buddhist monks. So in this way, people came to know about the cities from the Jataka stories. Secondly, sculptures. Sculpture curved scene depicting people lives in towns and villages as well as forests. So sculptures were there and some figures were depicted there which shows that the peoples were lives in town and villages. Many of these sculptures were used to decorate railings, pillars and gateway of buildings that were visited by the people. So when people visit this sculpture, they used to know that whatever the scene were carved there, it indicate that the peoples used to live in towns and villages. Then archaeological evidence also prove excavation at ancient sites reveal remains like ring wells, remains of building, pottery and tools. So this also indicate how the people were live in the towns and villages. Travelers and sailors often highlight about the places they visited. They observe and documented valuable insight of the cities like the market, unique custom and practices, different classes of people within the city also. So however, from the traveler also we get to know about the cities and the towns. As they used to visit, they used to just note it down and share some important insight of the cities like the market and the customs. After that, coins are also a source of information. Ancient punch mark coins made of silver and copper shows trade activities. The coin reveal growth of trade and commerce and use of money instead of barter. So in this way, we came to know about the cities, okay, through Jataka stories, sculptures, then archaeological evidence, travelers and coin. Now let us see city with main functions. So here we will see Mathura and Adikamedu. So Mathura has been important settlement for more than 500 years. It was important because it was located at the crossroad of two major routes of travel and trade from the northwest to the east and from north to south. As its location was very good, that's why it became a very important city with many settlements. There were fortifications around the city and several shrines. So the city was surrounded with fort. Farmers and the herders from adjoining areas provided food for people in the city. Mathura was also a center where some extremely fine sculptures were produced. Around 2000 years ago, Mathura became the second capital of Kushana. So Kushana was the kingdom and Mathura became the second capital of the Kushanas. Mathura was a religious center. There were Buddhist monastery, Jain shrines were there. It was an important center for the worship of Lord Krishna also. The people in Mathura were also engaged in various professions like goldsmith, weavers, blacksmith. It indicates a diverse and vibrant urban society was there. Okay. Now some craft person were also there. Craft and the craft person. Archaeological evidence proof for the crafts. These include extremely fine potteries known as the northern black polish ware. It gets its name from the fact that it is generally found in the northern part of the subcontinent. That's why it has been given the name northern black polish ware. Many craft person and merchants form association known as shrenis. So they have a group, they have an association and that was known as shrenis. These shrenis of craft person provided training, procured raw material and distributed the finished product, okay, as they were the merchant. Now these shrenis of merchant organize the trade. Shrenis also serve as bank where rich men and women deposited money. This was invested in part of the interest and was returned or used to support religious institutions such as monastery. So in this way, the craft person, that is the Shrenis, they organize themselves and they serve as a bank also, and they run the the agriculture also, and give the craft person, provide the trainings, and just run the monies also, invest the monies also. Okay. Now let us see a closer look at Adikamedu. That is an important city also with many functions. Adikamedu was an ancient power town located near modern day Puducherry. And in India, Adikamedu was the coastal settlement where ships unloaded goods from distant land. So the key finding of Adikamedu include Roman pottery that indicates the presence of foreign traders. So while doing the excavation, it was found Roman pottery was there in the Adikamedu that indicate that there was some connection with the Roman. Archaeologists have found structure resembling to Roman warehouses or storage facilities, which were likely to use for storing imported goods at Adikamedu. It was a seaport also, so goods were there. Roman lamps, glassware and gems have also been found at the site. Excavation have uncovered Roman pottery, that is the red glass pottery, and amphorae, that is a tall double-handled jar that contain liquids such as wine or oil, confirming trade with Rome. And the presence of dyeing beds indicate Adikamedu exported textile. So this is a closer look of the village cities with many functions. Here we have shown about the agriculture and how the agriculture has been increased, then who live in the villages. Then we have seen about the two important cities, that is the Mathura and the Adikamedu. So this much for today.